the rate of the work has been done. M squared value less than. And the second part is the laser is not going mainly for that. So laser cleaning power is. Okay, now let's go and make the test. Hi everyone, welcome to Jelly Talk. In the last few months, I went to a lot of exhibitions in the world, and we met many people who subscribe our channel, and they are laser cleaning fans. We talk, and many of them have mentioned the scan width, the line width of the laser cleaning machine. And some of them even hesitating between, and they asked me, Jelly, why DMK lasers, the laser cleaner, the scan width is shorter than some other brands. And even some of them think that the wider the scan width is and the faster of the cleaning speed. And I think this is totally wrong. So that's the reason why today we're going to talk about the laser cleaning scan width. And what's the reason from the point of designing of our machine, which factors decides the scan width and how to change them, why they are different on different machines, and what's the effect to our cleaning results. First, then we look at our machine. There is a parameter on the scan width, the line width, and of course you can choose different shapes. If you choose the 9 shapes, and which the line width means the width, and if you choose flowers, it means the diameter of this flower, or if you choose the waves, and you can decide the line width and this. So anyway, the maximum length of this single shape is that many people, they think one time you shoot the laser and the wider you go, the longer you go, it looks faster. But it's, for example, it's like a runner. So in total, imagine if you want to cleaning a 5 square meter area and there is one person running from here and there. So no matter how much the line width in total, the time you consume will be very similar. So what kind of elements decides the line width? Why our engineers doesn't make the machine go wider? It's let's go back to the beam paths. You know, we have a laser cleaner and we have laser source, which gives the laser beam here. And of course we have collimator for the pulse laser and also the CW. And then after collimating, all the laser being collimated, and then they arrive at the galvo. We have 2-axis galvo. For every head we have one here, axis and y-axis. So with the galvo, they have a reflective mirror when the laser goes in here, and it will be reflected here. So when you rotate, and then it will go like here. So with the movement of the galvo reflective mirror, and then after this we have a F-theta lens, which also in CW it's a focus lens. Well, in pulse laser we call it F-theta because then it focuses all the laser in one surface. So this is the theory. So here we get 2 factors which can affect the final width of the movement. One is then you can come to this equal. This is the length, the distance to F, which means the focal length. This is the focus length. So here to here, the focal point is the focal length. 2 focal lengths, and this theta, which is the angle. The angle of the galvo mirror, which can rotate. So when this galvo mirror rotates bigger, and you have wider length, because you can go here to here. And you can also use longer focal length, which is the focal length F1, and this is F2. So a shorter focal length, you get 110, for example, shorter length, and then you get wider here. So there are two factors. One is the focal length of the focused lens, which is here, and one is the rotating angle, which is here. So by changing these two factors, what's the difference for the performance of the machine and how our engineers think to use? So when we use the galvanometer, when we change the angles, we can get the bigger, longer scan width. But it comes the defects is that when the galvanometer moving too big angles, it will have a higher failure rate because the galvano is the always moving part inside the head, which mostly sometimes cause the failure. So normally we conservatively don't design the moving angle too big. And then we comes to the focus length, the field length. With longer focal length, and it has some advantages because you can be, for cleaning, the laser head can be far from the workpiece because the focal length, we came from 160 to 330, and you almost doubled the distance, and so you make the laser head away further from the dust. You get a bigger, one time longer scan width, and you got protect safer environment. So for example, if you go 330, you got bigger, and or sometimes you rotate the angle bigger, and maybe the laser beam will go out of the lens. Or for example, you will see the laser has been transmitted in the air for longer distance, and some goes to the edge here. So the beam will be larger here and will be smaller here because they have different distance. For most standard scenarios, we use the standard is okay because we get the best beam quality or the density here for most of the applications. And if you go here, you got very gentle cleaning, or those, for laser cleaning theory, we come back to that, is because you use a laser and which absorbed by the surface, rust or paint or anything, and then it absorbs the energy and vaporize or being take off from the surface of the base material. So you need to control the energy that you put on this surface. If it's too much, you hurt the base material. If it's not enough, you don't take it away. So the density is very sensitive. Is very the laser beam density is a very important factor. So we have to always keep in our mind when the laser was here and here and here. What's your beam size? Like we've talked in the last episode that all of us are using 300 watts, 500 watts, and 2 millijoules per pulse. Why the cleaning are different is because the beam size is different. In the past, also people ask me why the scan width we are 110 and some people are 150, some 180. I've explained, and even there are. I think now all of us understand that there will be many reasons here. Maybe we choose different rotating angles for the galvano motors, or sometimes for our machine you can go to 150 or 180, but we don't think in this width you can, if you use it and the cleaning effect is not good, we don't think that's a decent performance of the machine. So we put the limit of this to 110, which we think is good for all kinds of shapes. This also is one of the reasons. And sometimes, you can also, we didn't talk about the cold mating here, you can also, by using bigger cold mating lens, and you can get a smaller laser beam, so you can have a slightly wider line width. There are some other factors can be used. Even now, facing a lot of discussion or request from our customers. Now we have our new head. I think many people has been informed or updated from our YouTube channel. Now DMK machines has been equipped with all this new head, and this one is our old classical one. And now we have this protective cover, so it's very friendly. Even myself, I burned a few times in this old version. So in this case, you don't have that issue. And this, most important, this new head, we have the emergency push button, and we have the status light from 2 directions, and we have the defocus sensor. And most important, this new head, the scan width is 180, I think 180 to 200, and this old one was 110, which has been criticized by a lot of customers. So I also talked with our engineers because, yeah, sometimes because in the past our machine mostly are 200, 300 watts, but now we're coming to mostly 500, and we're coming with 1 kilowatt air cooling pulse. So we believe the power density has been upgraded a lot. So we can, even with the standard field length, we can rotate the galvano bigger angle and using, you know, bigger cold mating length. So we think because the power density is enough here, because with wider line width, you can scan by one time. You don't need to move your hand, you know, more times in cleaning 1 square meter. And for some really easy rust and with longer focal length, you can be far from the workpiece. And there are some, you know, some slightly advantages, and some people, and I don't know, maybe I'm not a laser cleaning service provider, but I think I've been very frequently asked by people by their request on wider line width. I believe they love it. So now we try to make it, you know, a better tool for you. All in all, that it's a long talk about this, and I hope I made it clear. So it's the beam path and the way to change the line width mainly by 2 factors, the focal length and the angle of the motors. But in the end, I want to say that, you know, I understand there are many DIY or many geek fences, and you know, there are many parameters we have been talking about: the line width, frequency, power density. We have been keep talking a lot of professional parameters. I would say that for each, when you are choosing a laser cleaner, or you know, you want to buy a 300 watt, 500 watts, and you are checking the list of the specifications from different machine provider, and it's hard to compare only one factor. I mean, like you say, oh, why they have this shape, you don't have this shape, and their line width is bigger than you, or the pulse energy is higher. Why, you know, it's hard to say each one factor. You need to put them together. So I think the best way is that you visit us, or you can visit our customers. You can visit our demo center, which is closer to you, and you just pick up the gun and you do the cleaning by yourself. You check, you know, the interface and the effect. You send our sample, so you see the cleaning by yourself and you experience it. So it's a solution. It's not only we put some numbers on the manuals of the machine. You have to choose a partner, a professional team. Those engineers, they work 26 hours per day and testing all kind of parts in the market, and they try to put them together as a best tool for you. So believe me that I think DMK team is working very closely, engineers and feedbacks from the market, from the field, and we try to give you the best experience on using laser cleaners. Thank you for watching.